doing our first AR15 build.
Oh my gosh, it won't go in.
Alright, so we installed one of the pins, one of the little springs. We get 3 in the package, 3 of each, 3 springs and 3 pins. 3 little pins. We already installed it. We installed the spring into the little slot here along with the pin, and we installed one of the front pins for the upper receiver. Alright, next we're going to install the magazine catch, which is the spring, the actual catch itself, and the magazine button to release the magazine. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so to install the magazine catch, you put the magazine catch in as well. Right, it's going to go down, and then you grab your spring, you put the spring in here, and then the actual button to release the magazine, which is this one, you're going to go and put it into this hole. Alright. Once you push it down, don't let the magazine catch fall out, so you're going to use both hands. Once it's in there, you're going to hold the other side down, and then all you got to do is just screw the magazine catch onto the actual catch. It's a little tedious, so you have to make sure you get right on there. Okay, once you're on there, spin it in place. So now it's caught on the thing, on the screw, and now you have your magazine catch. Now you gotta adjust it some more so that way the button is almost halfway through to the other side. Alright, that's what we're gonna be doing right now. Alright, next we're putting in the bolt catch. So we put the spring that it came with, spring, and this little pin that came with it. So that spring and then this pin that just rolled away. Alright, so he's installed the spring and the pin already. Alright, next is the bolt catch.
Here.
Just set it in this one right there. Alright. And then next we'll be installing the roll pin. This roll pin will go in from one side to the other. Okay. Next we have installed the selector lever, the safety lever. Alright, so you just drop it in, make sure it goes all the way to the other hole. Alright, just straight to the other side. Bam, right there. Okay, and then they give you that pin. That pin's gonna go on the underside of the pistol grip. Alright, with the flat side up. And then that spring is gonna go inside the pistol grip. Alright, so the thing is here that you have to, the pistol grip comes with an Allen key bolt. You have to insert the Allen key bolt in the pistol grip, and then so you can start the bolt in there. So then you're gonna rotate the pistol grip onto the hole. You gotta make sure that spring falls in place into that pin. Alright, you see how I did that right there? Alright, and now you can start turning on the Allen wrench. To get that bolt started in there. Just go ahead and Good old hand tight. That'll work. Alright, so the pistol grip is on there, safety's on there, magazine catch, and bolt catch is on there. And the front pin is on there. Alright, all we got left is the trigger group, the rear pin, pistol, the trigger guard. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install the buffer tube first. So you're gonna put on the buffer tube in there. Or it comes with this washer. This washer, you have to put it all the way back, install it, and make sure you have plenty of space for this ring to be able to move freely in the back area. Okay, because you're gonna need that extra space in a little bit. So once he installs the buffer tube, he's gonna screw it on there at least 2 to 3 times. That should be good enough. Alright, and then he's gonna grab the detent pin that catches your buffer spring when it comes out. Alright, so he's gonna get it up there real close to that detent pin, so that way that buffer tube stops that detent pin from coming out. Some more. Yep. And now he's just making sure that the buffer tube is aligned with the weapon at the bottom. See, so you gotta make sure that this line is straight. There you go. All right. You want to leave yourself some space in the back, because now we're gonna install that other pin, the rear pin. So we're gonna install a spring in here. Yeah, we're gonna install the spring in here, the pin, the detent pin, and the spring, so that way the rear pin can go in the rear assembly. All right. There goes the pin. It's gonna go in there first, then the spring, and then you're gonna close this up on the pin. It's gonna come all the way through. Put it, work on the bench. So before you install the pin, you need to make sure you use take it back out. Tighten in the spanner nut. I'm going to use a spanner wrench to give it one little nice tug on the back end. Okay, remember how to use this. Just going to hold the weapon like that, and then you're going to put it on a slot, and then you're going to hold it, and then you're going to pull towards you. Pull towards you. There you go. Give it a nice little tug. Should be good. Alright, so next we got the trigger, the hammer, the spring for the hammer, the spring for the trigger, and the disconnector, and your 2 pins, and your disconnector spring. Alright, so you're going to first install your trigger spring. So you just got to get it in and around. Make sure this curve is aligned with, it's going to go just like this. So pretty much just how I'm putting it on there, that's how it's going to go. Alright, so you got to put it in there. Get the springs to line up onto the pin, the side pins of the trigger. And that's it. Alright, so that's how it should look like after it's installed. Okay, so next we're going to do the hammer spring. Same thing. This curved part goes up against the front part of the hammer, so you just pretty much just got to get those pins inside the hammer, and that's how it's gonna sit. And it's gonna sit in the weapon. It's gonna sit in the weapon like this. These are to the back, so this is gonna go. Alright, probably get the picture pretty much. Alright, so next we're gonna put the disconnector on there. Alright, the spring, just gonna see it, so you can see the spring is kind of tapered. Can't get it to stop rolling. So you see the spring is a little wider to the top and a little smaller to the bottom. So it's gonna go, the wider part is gonna go to the top. Alright, because it won't go in the other way. So there's only one way it'll go in. Alright. So now we install the disconnector, put the disconnector in. It's good to go. Nice and snug. Alright. So next thing would be to drop the trigger inside the lower receiver. Alright. You don't need to have the disconnector in there to drop the trigger in. Okay. Just gonna go in there, it's gonna pop right in underneath the selector lever. Alright. So the trigger's gonna be installed. Now you drop in your disconnector. Drop it in. And you push everything down. And then you gotta make sure you align the hose through here. And that's the tedious part, because so if everything's lined up, that pin should fall straight through. There you go. So just need a little love tap. That's it. Trigger's in, disconnector's in. We're good to go. Okay, and working fine. Next thing we're gonna drop in is the trigger. All right. All right. So, correction. The curved part goes to the back side of the hammer. All right, not the front. We had it earlier going to the front. Like that. That was my mistake. Put it on there wrong, but it goes towards the back part. Okay, so that way whenever it pushes force against the hammer going up. See? All right, so but the installation is it's gonna go with the legs facing the pin for the trigger. All right, and then all you gotta do is just push down on it to line up these holes. Once you line up these holes, you get your pin. Okay, so that one side's in. So now you can work on lining up the other one. And all it is just holding it in place as best you can. and then tap it all the way to the other side. Alright, so it's hit something on the other side. So all you gotta do is just move the pin so that way you can get it lined up. Alright, it just takes just a couple of taps. So now it works good to go. So, ready to go. Safety works. Semi. Burst. Oh, that's illegal. You can't have burst. It's good to go. Alright. And that should be pretty much it for the lower receiver build. All you got left to do is put your rear shoulder, touch on, push the pins out, pins out, attach your upper receiver onto your weapon. Like pins in. Now these pins from Palmetto State, they're still fairly new, so it takes some usage to work on them. So you have to either get something soft, take your pins in, but after a while they'll wear and they'll get much easier to install. All right, so there you have it, full Palmetto State AR15. All right, so still got to install the bolt carrier. So to install the bolt carrier, fairly easy. Pull your charging handle to the rear, install the bolt carrier, line it, put it in place, push the pins in. All right. Oh, forgot one thing. Trigger guard. Trigger guard's pretty simple. Just trigger guard goes to the rear. All right. Pin in there, get a little bit of oil on the pin. We just tap the pin in. Alright, so here we are with the Palmetto State PSA 15 build. Alright, I've ordered the upper receiver and lower receiver with all the without all the parts. Just received the lower receiver. Got it shipped directly from Palmetto State to a FFA dealer. Alright, so everything has been installed correctly. Hammer works just fine. Alright, safety works perfectly. Alright, the lower receiver that I got was the PSA Stealth with the government issue stamp on the side, and the old M16 safe semi and burst. But of course I can't go into burst because it's not a automatic rifle or a full automatic. All right, so right now we're gonna conduct a functions check. All right, we're gonna make sure everything works correctly. All right, so first off, we're gonna install the magazine. Magazine works in there, nice and snug. Magazine releases the magazine perfectly. All right, bolt catch. Bolt catch catches the bolt, releases the bolt as it should. All right, safety. All right, put the weapon on fire. Fire 1 round. All right, this is your functions check for your weapon. All right, safety works. Pull the trigger. No fire, no hammer. All right, now put the weapon on fire on semi. Pull your trigger. Hammer falls. All right, no. When the hammer falls, around is the gas passes through the gas tube and pushes a bolt carrier to the rear and loading another round in the chamber. All right, once the next round is loaded in the chamber, you'll release the trigger, you hold the metallic click, and then you can fire your next round. All right, same thing will go, and the cycle continues. Okay, that is a semi-automatic weapon. 1 pull of the trigger, 1 round. All right, put it back on safe. Safety works, no fire. All right, this PSA 15 came with the M-Bus pop-up Magpul sights, which is good. I like them, pretty nice. All right, and that's about it.